Hey there. Welcome back to Very Good Yoga with Billy. My name is Billy. Let's get started in a Tadasana at the top of the mat, please. Bring your feet together, or just about hips width distance apart. And then close your eyes and allow your arms to rest down by your sides. Press your feet down into the floor. And keep your shoulders soft, but reach your fingertips down to the ground so your arms begin to straighten out a little bit more. Find your breath, something a little bit more noticeable as we transition from our day-to-day into our practice. Breathing for 5. 4. For 3. For 2. As you begin to flutter your eyes open on 1, inhale, reach the arms up into the ceiling. Forward fold is your out breath. Inhale, flat back. And on your exhale, step your right foot, step your left foot, and come into a plank pose. And I want you to do those same things that we did in Tadasana in your plank pose. So that means reach the crown of the head forward, but at the same time, reach your heels towards the back of the room. So it's almost like there are 2 arrows in your body going in separate directions. Keep your arms straight, keep your toes tucked, and on your next inhale, find a tuck-toed upward facing dog, so looking forward. And then use your belly to take it up and back into a downward facing dog with the hips lifting up and back. And of course, if you want to fidget with this first downward facing dog, if there's anything extra you need to do those things. Otherwise, just settle down into your stillness. If you're still pressing into the palms, your arms are straight. Inhale, downward facing. On empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, heel toe, or fly to a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand, reach the arms up high. And as you see your palms touch, bring your hands to prayer at the heart and come into a Tadasana with the arms by your sides. Press your feet down as you inhale, reach the arms up high. Forward fold is the out breath. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the left foot, step the right foot, come into a plank pose. Listen carefully. Inhale is a tuck-toed upward facing dog. This time, low push-up, chaturanga. Inhale, plank pose. Downward facing dog, lift the hips up high. I like to think of that as like a reverse vinyasa. You know, we get so used to the routine of chaturanga and then up dog. So switching it up here and there as we move today. We're not always going to go where you think we're going to go. Inhale. Non-empty, look forward, bend into the knees, hop, step, heel toe, or fly. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. 1, inhale, come up to stand, reach the arms up high. This time, as you see your palms touch, fold right back down through your midline. Keep your hands on the floor. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step your right foot, step your left foot, come into a plank pose. Inhale, tuck-toed upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank pose. This time back to chaturanga, low push-up, and hold here. Pluck your right foot and inch off the floor. And press up into a 3-legged plank pose. Pull the right knee into the belly. Keep your right hand down, reach the left arm up, and come into a fallen triangle pose. I know that escalated very, very quickly. And if you want a modification, feel free to lower the right knee down. Your right foot's kicking forward, but at the same time, the right thigh is drawing back. Inhale the top, left arm forward. Exhale, left hand down. Right foot steps forward. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. So there's this sensation of your right heel pulling towards the back left knee so that your hips begin to drift down and forward. But at the same time, lift the ribs off of the lower back and the arms into your ceiling. Inhale is lengthen. Exhale, prayer twist over to the right. Connect the left elbow outside of the right thigh and press your palms together a lot. So the belly is drawing in so you can create more rotation with your ribs and your upper back. And then maybe this is where you stay, but if you do want a little bit more, tuck your back left toes and lift the left knee up and off the floor. If the back leg is lifted, straighten out the leg as much as you can. So there's that sensation of an arrow going out of your inner left thigh towards your inner left heel, and the tips of the ears reaching forward. Inhales, lengthen. Exhale, plank to a chaturanga, lower halfway. This time, find a more conventional and traditional upward facing dog with your toenails pressing down. And then use your belly to come up into your downward facing dog. Bring your feet a little closer together and please lift the right leg up into a three-legged dog. Flex through the right foot, turn out your toes, and on an inhale, bend the knee to open up the hip. Firm the outer left hip in. Pull the belly back and try to stay leveled across your upper back. Straighten out your right leg, square off your hips, inhale. Knee in between the elbows, exhale. Step your right foot forward to your right thumb and find an active runner's lunge. Don't move your feet, but try to squeeze them together like you're going to scrunch the yoga mat underneath you. Keep your hands on the floor and reach the heart and the chest forward. Inhale to lengthen. Forward fold is the out breath. Step your back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. One inhale, come up to stand, reach the arms up. And then one exhale takes you right back down into your forward fold. Keep your hands on the ground. Inhale, flat back, prepares you for plank pose. Exhale, step your left foot. Step your right foot, come into a plank pose. Inhale, tuck-toed, upward facing dog, look forward. Exhale, chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale is plank pose. Right back down to chaturanga, hold halfway. Pluck your left foot an inch or two off the floor and press up into a three-legged plank. Draw the left knee into the belly. Keep your left hand down, reach the right arm high, and come into a fallen triangle pose. So your left foot will kick out to the right, off the mat and onto the floor. If you're modifying, the left knee is down. Roll the left bicep forward, draw the left thigh bone back. Inhale the top right arm forward. Exhale, right hand down. Step your left foot to your left thumb, low lunge. Inhale the arms up. Your right toes are pointing back. And you're pressing down through both of your feet on the floor. Continue to lift out of the waist. Take a few more breaths here. Inhale. Prayer twist to the left on your exhale. Connect the right elbow outside of the left thigh. And turn your chest towards your thumbs. Maybe this is where you stay. But if you did this before, tuck the back right toes and lift the back right leg. If you're looking for something to do with the eyes, you might start down on the floor. But if you want a little bit more, look straight ahead, whoa, or potentially up into the ceiling. Yeah, if you're playing with your gaze, you might wobble a little bit. And if you're wobbling, that just means you need to squeeze your feet together a little bit more and create that stronger foundation. Inhale. Exhale, plank to chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, finds that traditional back bend, upward facing dog, pressing the tops of the feet down. And as you exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips up and back. Bring your feet a little closer together and lift the left leg up into a three-legged dog. Flex with the left foot, turn out the toes, bend the knee, and open up the hip. So you're doing this work in the right leg where you firm the outer hip in and reach the outer right heel down. So the right leg does more work and you have some space to move in the upper body and in your shoulders. Straighten out your left leg, square off your hips, inhale. Knee in between the elbows, exhale, step your left foot forward and find this active runner's lunge. So again, try to drag your left heel towards your right foot and your right foot towards your left heel. And hopefully when you do that, you actually begin to shake a little bit. Sometimes in like a public class, I get really self-conscious about shaking, but there's probably no one around to see you shake here. So it's fun. Encourage it. Welcome it. Inhale the heart forward. Forward fold is the out breath. Step the back foot up to meet your front foot. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand. Reach the arms up high. And keep your arms lifted, but bend into your knees and come into chair pose. So the weight is in the heels and you are light through the toes. Reach up and out of your fingertips. And then can you sit your hips down an inch or two, but at the same time lift your heart and chest straight up an inch or two. Inhale, look forward. Forward fold is the out breath. Inhale, flat back, prepares you for chaturanga. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale to come up into your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, set it up and back to come into your downward facing dog. Ground your left heel down and step your right foot forward, warrior one. Inhale, come up to stand. And on your exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale, come up into your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Do it again. Left heel grounds down. Same right foot steps forward. Warrior one is your inhale. Open to warrior two, exhale. And straighten out the front right leg. And parallel your feet with the short edges of your mat. Make sure that your hands and wrists are right over your feet. And then place your hands on your hips. Squeeze the elbows together. Press the feet down, lift the heart up. Inhale. Hinge at your hips, bow forward on the exhale. And once you have folded as much as you can fold, put your hands on the floor. Walk your hands so that the heels of the hands are in line with the heels of the feet. Reach the crown of the head down to the floor, but draw your shoulder blades down the backs away from the ears. Inhale, flat back. Hands are on your hips. Come all the way up to stand. And come into a Tadasana at the very top of your mat. Sweep the floor with your fingertips. As you inhale, come into chair pose. Look forward. Bring your hands to prayer at the heart and prayer twist over to the right. Connect the left elbow outside of the right thigh. And again, press your palms together a lot. Press your feet down into the floor when you bend into your knees. And maybe this is where you stay. But if you want a little bit more, put your right hand outside of the right thigh to snuggle the armpit closer to your leg and open your twist. So with an open twist, the left hand's on the floor and the right arm reaches straight up into the ceiling. In order to reach the right arm higher, press the left hand down more. Inhale, chair pose, come back through center. Forward fold is the out breath. Option to take a Baddha crow pose. Plant your palms and come up high onto the balls of the feet so that you can put your knees on the backs of the triceps. Look forward, lean forward, and maybe you can get the feet off the floor. Palms are pressing down, elbows and forearms are hugging in. And then could you potentially shoot back and land in a chaturanga? On an inhale, find your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Second side, right heel down, left foot forward. Warrior one, inhale, come up. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhales your back bend, upward facing dog. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Right heel grounds down, same left foot steps forward. Warrior one, inhale. Open to warrior two, exhale. And right away, straighten out the front left leg. And parallel your feet with the short edges of your mat. So this time, find a reverse namaste right in between your shoulder blades. So you're trying to bring your palms together to touch, and if they come apart even a little bit, modify with a fist bump or grab the opposite elbows. Inhale, lift the chest. Hinge at your hips, lean forward, bow forward. But keep your palms together this time, or your fists, or your elbow grabs, depending if you're modifying. Lift your elbows and triceps up into the ceiling, but roll your biceps down to the floor. So you're trying to maintain that arch in your spine, that essence, that element of back bend, of a flat back. And then keep your palms together and inhale, halfway lift. Place your hands on your hips. Exhale, come up to stand. And then step to a Tadasana at the top of the mat with the back foot up to meet your front foot. I am sweating bullets. Let's keep it going. Sweep the ground with your fingertips. Inhale, chair pose. Look forward, hands to prayer at your heart. Twist to the left. Hook the right elbow outside of the left thigh. And maybe this is where you stay. If you want a little bit more, feet press down, the knees are bending. And maybe the right hand finds the floor, or maybe a block. I like to look straight up at my lifted thumb in an open twist. But if that's too much on your neck, again, either look forward or maybe even look down at the ground. Inhale, chair pose, come back through center. Forward fold is the out breath. Option to take a Baddha crow pose. Big toes together to touch. Plant your palms, come up high onto the balls of the feet. Look forward, lean forward. Whoa now. Almost ate it that time. And that just goes to show you, maybe this is like your first time trying crow. Maybe you've done this several times. Like there's still a margin of error. There's still that possibility it's not going to work out. But you try anyways, right? Chaturanga. Vinyasa. Meet me back in your downward facing dog. Walk your hands to a forward fold at the back of your mat. Inhale to a flat back. Hands on your hips. Exhale, come up to stand. Bring your right leg into tree pose. Bring the right foot to your inner thigh, your inner calf, or maybe even your shin and your foot on the floor. Your hip bones are pointing straight ahead, and your right leg is at a slight angle. Reach the arms out in front of you. Hook the right thumb in front of the left thumb. And as you try to pull your thumbs apart, lift the arms up and overhead so the biceps are alongside the ears. What if I asked you to turn your armpits in to face your face? I know that sounds like a really weird cue. If you want to play with the drishti again, begin to look up and see if you can see your hook grip with your eyes. Full breath in. Tadasana is the exhale. Put your right foot down and bring both arms by your sides. Bring your left foot into tree pose. And remember, it's inner thighs, inner calf, it might even be part of your floor. But the one thing, like the big takeaway I want you to think about with the tree is avoid your standing knee with your left foot. Reach the arms out in front of you. Hook the left thumb in front of the right thumb this time. And as you try to pull the thumbs apart, reach the arms up into the ceiling so biceps are alongside your ear. Your right foot is pressing down. Your outer right hip reaches towards your inner right heel. And if you want more, maybe you begin to look up and see your hook grip. Oh, you guys can actually see me like touching my ceiling. Sometimes the camera will like cut that part off. And hopefully your ceilings aren't that low. If they are that low, it's not like a big deal if you use it. You know, I like to think about like my ceiling, my walls, my floor, like everything is a prop in yoga. Not just blocks, not just straps. Everything's a prop, even your cat. On an exhale, come into a Tadasana with both of your feet on the floor and your arms by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Forward fold is the exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. Walk your hands forward. Keep your right hand down and please come into a side plank. Reach the left arm up. The modification, you'll lower your right knee to the floor, but if you want to add on, snuggle the bottom right knee into the belly. This time, keep your right foot lifted as you come into this variation of fallen triangle pose. And if you want, you could just do fallen triangle pose. For 5, 4, 3, for 2, put your left hand down, step your right foot forward, warrior 2, on an inhale, come up to stand. Keeping the right knee over the right shin. And most likely, you can go a little bit longer with this stance, and most likely you could bend into the front knee more. Inhale, reverse. Put the right hand inside of the right foot for an extended side angle. Reach the left arm forward. If you want the modification, you could put a block underneath your right hand or even put your forearm on your thigh. Carve the outer right hip back and press the right leg into the right arm. At the same time, press the right arm into the right leg. Inhale to lengthen. Runner's lunge to pyramid pose is the out breath. Shorten your stance a lot and put a little bit of space in between your 2 feet so you're not on a tightrope. If you're anything like me and you have really tight hips and hamstrings, you would put blocks underneath your hands. Wrap the outer right hip back. with the outer left hip forward. And then keep your legs the same, but on your next inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, fold. Runner's lunge, rebend into the front right knee and pause for a second. So I want to play with some one-legged squats, some pistol work with you folks here today. And here's how we're going to set that up. Keep your right foot at the top of the mat and bring your back knee up to touch your front knee. So it's like you're in a little flamingo crouch with your knees together, and you could stay here. But if you want to give that pistol squat a go, reach your left arm back and grab onto the outer edge of your left foot. Shoot your left foot forward, put your right hand on the floor outside of your right hip, so you're in your pistol squat. Wherever you are, kick your left foot back and come into a runner's lunge. So that's the first option we'll play with. Let's add on. Bring your back knee up to touch your front knee. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you grab on for the left foot with your left hand and come forward into a supported pistol squat with the right hand on the floor. If you want to go unsupported, reach the right arm forward, so the only thing that's on the floor is your right foot. We'll make our way back to a runner's lunge. And if you're grabbing onto the foot with both hands, you'll probably have to put the right hand down first to make that transition work. Tie it all together. Back knee touches your front knee. Left hand grabs the outer edge of the left foot, pistol squat. Maybe you keep the right hand on the floor. Maybe you grab on for the left foot with both hands. Could you come up to stand on the right leg? And then squat right back down on the right leg. Put your right hand on the floor. Step your left foot to the back of the mat, runner's lunge. To a three-legged dog, lift the right leg up and back. Keep your right leg lifted and walk your hands to a standing split at the back of the mat. Press the left foot down. Find a point at the back of your room to focus on with your drishti so your neck is long. Pull the right knee into the belly. Come up to stand on your left leg. Whoa, Utthita A. So you're pressing the left foot down. And I want you to notice how much you're actually grabbing on for your right shin with your right hand. I want your grip to be fairly light. So if you were to let go with the hand, not much would change about the position. Utthita B. Reach the left arm towards your 9 o'clock. Keep your right leg at an angle, roughly to 2 o'clock, and keep your hip bones pointing forward to 12. Maybe this is where you stay. But if you want a little bit more, bring the right eyeball to your left thumb. Left foot is pressing down, and the outer left hip is reaching towards your inner left heel. Back through center. Whoa. And very lightly, very casually step to a Tadasana with both feet on the floor and the arms by your sides. Inhale the arms up. Forward fold is the exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. Walk your hands forward. On your next inhale, tuck toe to upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, plank pose. Second side. Keep your left hand down and come into side plank by reaching the right arm up. If you did this before, begin to sneak the bottom left leg out from underneath you and try to keep the left foot lifted as you kick it out to the side. Folks, I don't have any room to kick my foot forward, so I'm just going to keep my left leg where it is. For 5, 4, 3, For 2, put your right hand down. Step your left foot as far forward as your left foot will step and come up into warrior 2. Lift the left hip bone up and away from the top of the left thigh. The outer right hip is firming in, so you can lengthen forward to the inner left groin. Inhale, reverse. Left hand inside of the left foot. Extended side angle. Reach the right arm forward. Utthita, Hasta, Konasana. Pull the left heel back and press down to the outer edge of the back right foot. Keep turning, keep twisting your chest up to the ceiling. Inhale. Runner's lunge to pyramid pose is the exhale. Shorten your stance a lot. Ground down to the outer edge of the back right foot. And if you need blocks, if you use them on the first side, you'll probably have them again here in the second. Wrap the outer left hip back. You know, just because when you come into a pyramid shape, like there's a tendency that your left hip will come forward because your left foot is forward. Firm up the back right leg, quads are pressing back. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Runner's lunge, we bend into the front left knee. And this is the last time we'll do this, playing with our pistol squats today. Bring your back right knee up to touch your front left knee. And again, maybe this is where you stay, but if you want to explore your pistol, grab the outer edge of the back right foot and shoot the foot forward. So again, the supported variation is the one where you keep the left hand on the floor, and we're all going to start here in some capacity. Runner's lunge, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Bring your back right knee up to touch your front left knee. Grab your right foot with your right hand and kick your right foot forward. And if you want to take the left hand off of the floor, grab onto the right foot with both hands. So only your left foot is on the floor. We'll make our way back to a runner's lunge. You'll probably have to put your left hand down, step the right foot back. And then last piece, right knee to left knee. Right hand grabs the right foot. You shoot it through coming into your pistol squat. Grab on for the right foot with both hands. And then could you come up to stand on your left leg? Could you squat right back down on your left leg? Maybe this is the more difficult side. We'll make our way to a runner's lunge. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. And then sweep the left leg high for a three-legged dog. Walk your hands to a standing split at the back of the mat. And treat this like a one-legged standing forward fold. So the belly is on the thighs, the crown of the head is reaching to the floor, and you are lifting through the inner left leg. Bring your left knee into your nose. Take the left leg with you, come up to stand, and find an Utthita A. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana A. Stand up straight. And what if I asked you to lift the right arm out of the outer right heel? You're pressing down into the middle of the right foot where your shoelaces would normally be. Utthita B. Open up your left leg towards the left side of your space and reach the right arm out to the side. Folks, I actually want to turn and I want to face you for this one, just because I want to show you what I'm doing. I don't have the wall space to come into this fully to my right. If you did this before, bring your left eyeball to your right thumb. And maybe you can't get all the way to the thumb today. You just go like halfway between forward and your right hand. Come back through center. And lightly step to a Tadasana with both feet on the floor and the arms by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up. Forward fold is the exhale. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose, walk your hands forward. Inhale is your tuck-toed upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale, plank pose. Downward facing dog. Into a child's pose. Lower your knees either together or hips width distance apart. Resting the belly on the thighs. Creating space through the ribs. Just take a few moments here to collect yourself. So especially now that we have gotten into, a few more advanced and even a few more unconventional shapes and movements. Something I always want you to keep in mind is it doesn't really matter what these shapes look like, right? It doesn't matter if you can take the full expression or if you're doing something a little different. What matters is that when you do these shapes, you're doing something that can allow you to stay involved. I know for me, for a long time, when I first started to come to yoga, I would get so frustrated that I couldn't do the coolest thing that the teacher was offering. But there are other things you can do. And just because you can't do it today, it doesn't mean it won't happen next time. One of the best ways to get to the more advanced options is just to start with the small stuff, the more accessible stuff, things you can do. With that being said, I always want to try to encourage you guys to do the really hard stuff. Try it out. It might not work at all. You might be thinking, what is this? But just try it out anyways. Keep an open mind. Okay. Let's come back into down dog, please. Plant your palms. Tuck your toes. And lift your hips up and back. So for this last side, I'm just going to have you step your right foot forward and come up into warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Right hand inside of the right foot, extended side angle. Reach your left arm forward, reach your left arm up, reach your left arm back, and start with the half bind. So the left hand is grabbing the inner right thigh or maybe even the outer right hip. What I like about a half bind is you can actually pull and turn your chest up and open. And if you can keep this really nice and open chest, go for the full bind. Holding hands with yourself or maybe a strap. If you're really close and you need a strap, put it in your left hand so the strap dangles down. You can grab it with your right. 3 more breaths here. Inhale, runner's lunge to pyramid pose is the exhale. Shorten your stance a lot. And again, put a little bit of space in between your feet so you're not on a tightrope. Grab one of your blocks and put it either inside or outside of the front right foot. Put your left hand on the brick and your right thumb into your right hip crease. Before you twist, press your right hip bone back with your right thumb and hand. And as you try to straighten out your right arm, inhale, flat back, heart forwards. Revolved triangle pose on the exhale. Turn your chest to face the right side of your room, and if it's appropriate, reach the right arm up into the ceiling. Firm up the back left leg. Press the left heel down. Press the left hand down to reach the right arm up. So just like we did in our twisting chair, we're lifting and lengthening across the chest. Inhale. Pyramid pose is the exhale. Put both of your hands down on the floor. Runner's lunge, rebend into the front right knee. Standing split at the top of the mat. Kick your left foot up into the air and press your right foot down to lift the standing thigh bone up. Inhale, standing split. Exhale, left knee into the belly, into the chest. Take the left leg with you, come up to stand, knees into the belly. Flex through the left foot. Come into a figure four, left shin, right thigh. And then hands to a prayer position at your heart. So your left foot is flexing as much as your left foot will flex, and the outer right hip is firming in towards your midline. If you want a little bit more, maybe you fold with your hands on the floor. And if you want to go for Ekapada Galavasana or flying pigeon pose, I'm only moving back on my mat because I want to demo it for you folks real quick. And hopefully you can stay at the top of your mat when you do this. If you're going for flying pigeon, walk your hands forward like a foot away from your standing leg. So that when you plant your palms and you lean forward, your left shin has somewhere to go. Flex the left foot around the right arm. And maybe you can reach the right leg back into space. For 5, 4, 3, for 2, take it to a forward fold on 1. Uncross your legs and just step your left foot down to meet your right foot. Inhale, flat back. And on your exhale, chaturanga, vinyasa, downward facing dog. Step your left foot as far forward as you can, and please come up into a warrior two. Last side right here, folks. Inhale, reverse, lift up and out of the left waist. Extended side angle, left hand inside of the left foot. Reach your right arm forward, reach your right arm up, reach your right arm back and go for a half or potentially a full bind. Folks, I don't know if you noticed what I just did there. I just shortened my stance a little bit. And I forgot to say this before. If you take a really long warrior two, then go a little shorter with your extended side angle stance. Turn your chest up into the ceiling and keep carving the outer left hip back and underneath you. Inhale to lengthen. Look down, runner's lunge to pyramid pose. You know it's a little funky with that transition because like you're squaring off your hips. You gotta move your feet a little bit more. Grab a block and place it either inside or outside of the front left foot. Take it slow, put your left hand on your left hip. And with your left hand, press the left hip back. Inhale the heart forward. And as you exhale, twist. Turn your chest and torso to face the left side of your space. And then once you feel good about your feet, your legs, your hips, and your upper body, that's when you'll reach the left arm up into the ceiling. And again, if it doesn't bother the neck, maybe you look up. 5, 4, 3, or 2, pyramid pose on 1. Bring both of your hands down to the floor. Runner's lunge, rebend into the front left knee. Standing split. Kick your right leg up and into the air. One-legged standing forward fold. Find a point at the back of your room, maybe the back of the mat to focus on with the eyes. And then press the left foot down so you can lift this standing thigh bone up. Inhale. Exhale, right knee into the belly. Take it with you. Come up to stand. Figure 4, right shin, left thigh, and your hands come to a prayer position at your heart. Keep flexing through the right foot. Keep pulling the toes in towards the knee to protect it. And maybe this is where you stay, but if you want to fold, go ahead and fold. If you want the arm balance, Ekapada Galavasana, give yourself a little bit of space. Lean forward, plant your shins on your triceps, and maybe you can see a little bit better on this side, folks. My right foot is wrapping around my left arm like a puzzle piece. Press into the floor, almost like you could move it with your hands, and maybe you can get the left leg back. You're ready to move on. Unwind your legs and come into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, prepares you for Chaturanga. And as you exhale, Chaturanga, Vinyasa. Last time, rinse it out and take it to your downward facing dog. Woo. Lower your knees, please. And stand up on your shins. So I want to do 2 Tadasana Camel Poses with you folks here today. And how we're going to set these up is point your toes back and reach your arms up into the ceiling so your biceps are alongside the ears. Lift the ribs as far away from the lower back as possible. I'm going to reach the ring fingers up and into the ceiling. Press the feet down, inhale to lengthen. And on the exhale, cactus your arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together and put your hands on your lower back for support with the fingers pointing up. And the heart is lifting up to where the wall meets the ceiling in front of you. And if it's appropriate, if it doesn't bother your lower back, maybe walk your hands down your butt, your hamstrings, and if they're accessible to you, grab on for your heels. Inhale, stand up on your shins. And as you exhale, sit down on your heels, close your eyes, and lower your chin to your chest. Do that again. Stand up on your shins and reach the arms up and overhead. Maybe even begin to look slightly up with the gaze, but just go up with the torso, the arms, and the ribs. Press your feet down to get that extra inch. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, cactus the arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and put your hands on your lower back for support. The feet and the shins are hugging in and down. And if you want a little bit more, maybe your hands find your butt, your hamstrings. And if they're there, grab on for your heels. If you're grabbing on for the heels, ideally you want to grab them at the same time. Press the butt forward into the pelvis. And keep the belly engaged to protect the lower back. Inhale, stand up on your shins. And as you exhale, sit down on your heels, lower your chin to your chest, and close your eyes. And just feel for what you feel. Notice what comes up after just 2 back bends. Flutter your eyes open. We're gonna make our way onto our backs, and to get there, I'm just gonna have you sit to either side of your hips so you can swing your legs around and forward. Bend into your knees, step your feet onto the floor, and lie back on your back. And I want to offer you folks just one more back bend for today's practice, setting up for a bridge pose. Walk your feet in towards your body so the knees are right over the shin. And bend into your elbows so you can press your triceps down into the floor. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lift your hips. And if you want to stay with wheel, reach the arms forward. But if you want to take a wheel pose, reach the arms overhead and try to get the ribs away from your lower back. Once you feel you've created all the lift that you can create in your front body, bend into your elbows, bring your hands wide to frame your face, and come up under the crown of your head first. Eventually straighten out the arms and reach your heart back. Roll the inner thighs towards one another and breathe. After about 8 rounds of breath, lower back to the floor, and we'll find a Supta Baddha Konasana with the legs, soles of the feet together, and the knees are out wide. So for me, I always like to keep my arms overhead as I make my way down to the back, just because I think it can create more space in your ribs and your lungs. But of course, if you prefer, maybe you have your hands on the body, or even just by your sides. Coming back into the breath, trying to find something a little bit more steady and even. And then go ahead and step your feet onto the floor and hug your knees into your belly and into your chest. Keeping your eyes closed and using as little effort as possible, make your way up into a C. And I know I said keep your eyes closed, but don't do that. Keep your eyes open. That's my bad. We get in these habits as yoga teachers, and usually I use that transition to bring people out of Shavasana, but we're not there yet. Spoiler alert, you're going to hear that cue later. Bring your right shin on top of your left shin, and please come into a double pigeon. Let's talk about modifications here, guys. If you can't get your shin directly on top of your other shin, and there's a little bit of a gap, put a prop in between your shins so you have something to support yourself. I think a blanket would be great. Blocks are good, but they just don't mold as much to the body. They don't work around you as well as a blanket. And if you put a blanket there or even a block there, and you still look like that, take a cross-legged forward fold with the right shin in front of the left shin. Walk your hands forward and fold into your double pigeon. Of course, if there's another hip opener, you want to take that hip opener. Maybe it's a figure 4 on your back or even a pigeon pose. And then maybe this is where you stay. If you want a little bit more, walk your hands over to the left and fold over your right foot. So to start, your sternum is right around your right heel. If you want even more while you're here, put your right elbow in the arch of your right foot and make a fist with your right hand. Place your left hand on top of your right fist and twist the left side of your space. Your forearms are perpendicular with the floor. You're rolling your right rib cage around your spine and underneath your left. Full breath in. And then very gently, very slowly, come back through center and upright your seat. Extend the legs out in front of you and shake the backs of the thighs out onto the floor. And then we'll do it again. Left shin on top of the right shin. If you modified before, you'll probably modify again here. If you did something different, do whatever you did differently. But eventually walk your hands forward and fold, please. Lift out of the belly and reach your tailbone back. Maybe sometimes what I like to do to make sure the weight is right in the middle of my seat is I'll do a little bit of cow, I'll do a little bit of cat in my lower back, and then try to find like that halfway point in between those two poses. That's where your weight is in your double pigeon and even in your seat. Maybe this is where you stay. If you want a little bit more, starting with the side body bend, walk your hands to the right and fold over your left foot. Maybe this is where you stay, but if you want a little bit more, hook the left elbow to the inner left arch of the foot. Make a fist with your left hand, and then put your right hand on top of your left fist. Your right palm is pressing into the knuckles so that you can turn the left rib cage to the right side of your room. Continuing to breathe so the body can soften and let go and relax here. Maybe your gaze is forward, maybe your gaze is up if that doesn't bother your neck. It's an inhale. Slowly on your exhale, take it back through center and upright your seat. Place your hands behind you, extend the legs out in front of you, shake the backs of the thighs out onto the floor. Again, make sure the weight is right in the middle of the seat. For me, I like to actually grab my butt so I can get my sits bones more rooted to the floor, but you might sit on a blanket or even roll up some part of your mat. Reach the arms up into the ceiling and take a full breath in. Exhale, fold. Grab on for the toes and the balls of the feet. So there's like an overhand grip happening here. If you can't grab your feet, all you got to do is bend into your knees. Like we can all grab our feet. It just means we might look like this. You could even put a prop underneath your knees if you would prefer to do that for support. Like we did in double pigeon, you're lifting out of the belly, but at the same time, you're reaching your tailbone back. Inhale to a flat back. And on your exhale, upright your torso. Point your toes forward. If you don't know what a pointed foot is, it's like halfway between a flexed foot and a pointed foot. So it's a pointed foot. Reach the arms forward like you're holding a yoga block, the longest of waves. And using your belly and legs, slowly lower for a count of 5, 4, 3, for 2, Shavasana on 1. Of course, if there's anything in particular, any extra props that you want to use for your rest today, go ahead and set yourself up. If you have the time to join me in a Shavasana, close your eyes and begin to settle down into your stillness. Allow your brain to drop into the back of your skull. Feeling your physical body almost melt and attach into the floor. Taking a final scan of the body, take one more full breath in through the nose. Open up the mouth, exhale, let it go. No more work, no more effort. Shavasana. Ready to leave Shavasana, begin to deepen the breath and invite some smaller movements back into the body. Wiggle the fingers, the toes, the hands, and eventually the feet. Reach the arms up and overhead and bend into your knees to step your feet down onto the floor. Using either bicep as a pillow, please rock off to the side and come into a fetal position. And then keeping the eyes closed, and using as little effort as possible, please come up into a comfortable seat facing your monitor. tall, spine long. As you seal in your practice, please bring your hands to a prayer position at your heart. As you guide the thumb knuckles up and into your chest, into your sternum, please invite a full breath in. Open up the mouth. Exhale is release. Please join me for one sound of Om. Inhale. Thumb knuckles to third eye center. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Go in peace. Namaste.